guys, it's Shelby. Welcome back to my channel. Thank you so much for tuning in for another video. In today's video, we're just going to be kind of playing with some new makeup that I have and just really kind of like having a chat. I feel like we need to have a chat. Full disclosure, I'm feeling like, I don't know, just like a lot of anxiety lately and like a lot of, I don't know, just I'm not doing the best I've ever done as far as like my anxiety levels go and stuff. Not only do we have this like election that is just lasting forever and it's probably going to last even a couple more days and it's looking like it's going good, but I don't think I'm alone in feeling just like immense anxiety on that, no matter which end of the spectrum you stand on. And stuff, I have some new products I'm gonna be playing with today and just kind of like seeing how they work and also just kind of venting to you guys. So if you're interested in hanging out with me for that, grab your makeup or grab a snack and let's get ready together, or just chill with me while I vent. So I don't know about you guys, but this freaking, all of this stuff with the election has just been so stressful to me. It has just been immensely stressful to me. I was watching it for like 7 hours last night or something, and finally I just had like the biggest migraine and had to just like turn it off because I just couldn't take it anymore. It was just too much. So I'm gonna start off on my face. I just primed with the Cover FX gripping primer. This stuff is so freaking good. I just bought this recently at Ulta when I hit 1,000 subscribers. It's a $38 primer, so it's kind of like a little splurge for me. I don't really buy primers that are that expensive a lot of the time, so this is I went ahead and splurged on that and I'm absolutely loving it. For foundation, I'm going to be using the Kosas Tinted Face Oil, which I know is supposed to be a really light coverage kind of a thing. I got it in BoxyCharm and I don't think it's going to work for me at all. I don't. But we're going to try it together. It has this like weird sound, very ASMR. I have not even like, I guess I opened it to swatch it, but I do not remember that at all. I'm going to apply it with my Tarte foundation brush. Oh, it feels oily. Okay, well, I like the finish, but it feels kind of oily. Anyway, even just like beyond that, like I've just been like really going through it with anxiety lately. I mean, mental health is so important, you guys. So if you suffer from anxiety or anything like that, like I encourage you to talk about it. Find someone you can talk about like how you're feeling and stuff with, because it's just so important, and that's kind of like why I'm here today. Like I have people I can talk to, you know, when I'm feeling weird. It's always nice to kind of just sit and like do like a freaking rant in front of a camera, you know. But I've been having a lot of anxiety, and it's kind of stems from just a lack of like security in a way. So to talk about this, we have to backtrack. For those who don't know, I used to manage restaurants for like 6 years. I've been in the restaurant industry working for now like going on 13 years. So I was managing restaurants for a really long time, and I was managing Chili's for the longest. So I kind of like the finish on this foundation, but it just seems like really oily. It seems like really fucking oily. So I don't know how it's gonna work for me, but I really like the finish. Kind of suddenly at Chili's, I ended up getting let go, and this was in November of 2018. I was really unhappy at Chili's at the time that I got let go. Just not happy with a lot of the things the company was doing, the direction it was going, the things they were asking of their managers as far as like running shifts and managing profits and stuff like that. And so I wasn't happy, but I still wasn't ready to get let go from there. You know, I wasn't thinking that I was gonna like leave. So that was a really big shock to me. I ended up getting hired by Mod Pizza, honestly, like 2 months after that, just because I was really choosy at the place that I went to after that. I ended up actually taking an entire month to decide if I was going to indeed go on with Mod Pizza actually and accept their job offer. I ended up accepting the job, and at first it was like really great. I was in training at this restaurant in the suburbs here in Houston, and it was just like a situation where the restaurant ran really well and the GM was just kind of like coasting by and it was like super busy and they were doing really well and all this. But then they were telling me that the restaurant I was going to was a little bit different. So the restaurant that I was going to ended up like letting go of honestly like 80 to 90% of their staff literally like a month before, not even a month before I got hired with the company. They had just fired everybody. So I'm like on my 3rd day of training at this new concept as a general manager, first time being a GM, hearing that they brought on these girls to help run the restaurant while I was in training. So I'm thinking, okay, they brought on some managers from other places. The women they brought on, or the girls rather, because they were all pretty young, were all like brand new to this kind of a role. So they had been like shift leaders, like running shifts or whatever, but they had never been in like an upper management role. So they were just kind of like figuring out what they were doing and not really knowing what's going on either. And I'm over here in training and like, so they're just like trying to make the thing work, right? And I am in the meantime also conducting phone interviews to try and get new hires into the restaurant to replace all of these people that had gotten fired before I got there. That was kind of like a red flag for me. Like, why would you put a new GM, a new person to the company, a new GM into this restaurant that was seemingly having so many issues? But they're like, no, you can handle it. It's going to be fine. We have faith in you, whatever. So I was like, okay, cool, whatever. You know, I get out of training from mod and I end up going to the restaurant, and the restaurant is not doing good. In a nutshell, I had to hire all of my shift managers to run the shifts for me, so I didn't have to work all the time. Like policies and stuff that they had put in place like maybe like a year ago or whatever with the company weren't being enforced at this restaurant. There were just so many things that were wrong with it. I ended up asking for some help because I ended up having to let some people go and then like all this stuff. So I ended up asking for some shift lead help, okay? Oh, and then they started moving out my help that I did have. They started moving those girls into other places. So I was like literally just trying to stay afloat, trying to do all stuff while the restaurant was like all new people. You know, it was just a really, really rough time for me. So I was working like so much and it was just like a nightmare. I ended up asking for some help from my district manager. He ends up sending me this girl to work at the restaurant. I hear from other people this girl's worked for the company for a really long time and she's like super problematic. So I'm like, okay, well, whatever. Like we can handle her. It's fine. As long as she's good at her job, then if she's like dramatic, I don't really care. So she gets in and girl, I don't know what happened, but this girl does not like me. She has it out for me. She literally says out loud, like, I'm going to try and get this girl fired. So she teams up with another one of the girls, another one of my shift managers I had promoted, who was like honestly like not the best. That I was like trying to develop her into like being better at her job. She ends up like buddying up with this girl, this new problematic girl. I mean, they're like doing the most. They had to place the food orders and stuff, and they would, I have a theory that they would like intentionally go in and mess up the food orders to make like me look bad or whatever. We used to get like secret shopped and I just had to like, they just didn't care because they like knew that it would fall back on me. I finally get some relief because I hear that, you know, this girl is trying to get me fired. So I go to my district manager about it. So apparently she tells him the same thing. I don't know if it was like word vomit and she didn't mean to say it or what, but she ends up telling him the same thing about how she's trying to indeed make me lose my job. So he's like, we're not going to have that. Like we let her go. Blah, blah, blah. So this girl who basically has it out for me for don't really know what reason, she's gone now. So she's seemingly out of the picture. I'm thinking, oh my God, thank you so much. Like, I really appreciate you having my back on this. Like, you know, this really means a lot to me. Like, thank you so much. I was telling my district manager, like, I really appreciate it. Like, thank you so much. I'm thinking things are good. He's like, so now that she's gone, we need your performance to kind of like pick up, like the secret shops need to be better, like all, you know, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, yeah, no problem. We got it. So then about a week later, a secret shop comes in, and the secret shop was done like a few days earlier or whatever when the other girl that was kind of like out for me or whatever was working, because she didn't get fired, only the one did. Like her buddy that didn't get fired, but she did. So I come into work and I see a GM from another restaurant there, and I'm like, this is kind of weird, you know, but hey, what's up? So I go, I set my purse down, and then I see my district manager, and he's like, hey, can we talk? I'm like, sure. So I go talk with him, and he fires me. And he basically says that the performance that we needed to improve on hadn't been done yet. This was literally not even 7 days from the conversation I had with him where he let the girl go. Not even 7 days. So imagine my shock when I'm like, what? Like, I'm fired? Like, how? Like, I don't understand, you know? So anyway, that sucked. Emotionally, how I was feeling when I was at this place was just distraught, overworked, you know, feeling out of control with the whole situation. I really felt like they did not give me my best chance going in there, and there wasn't a lot of support. That was just another restaurant management job that I was like, you know what, I'm like so fucking just at my wit's end, right? But I had already kind of been like applying to other places a little bit, and so literally 2 days later, I had a job at an Italian restaurant called Palazzo's. Palazzo's is like an independently owned Italian restaurant here in Houston. I thought, you know, this is going to be great. Like, it's I'm back into full service, is what I thought I needed at the time, as opposed to casual dining like Mod Pizza was. It is a little bit more upscale, you know, it's independently owned, so I don't have this corporate culture that I was like so trying to get away from. I thought it was honestly a great move for me at the time. There, and in more or less words, the owner is honestly like a little psycho. Like, he's like super crazy. So he freaks out about everything all the time for like no reason, right? He like has like a major attitude problem. I'm working 6 days a week, 12-hour days every day, and my salary is not much more than what I was making at Mod Pizza or Chili's or anything, so I'm making less money by the hour if you do the math on it. I'm literally just have no time for myself. So I'm like, I don't know what to do. Like, I'm like so torn. So I'm like, I need to get out of this industry. I don't know what to do. So I started doing real estate school. And the more and more that I checked out of this restaurant, and I was just so not into it because the owner was so hard to work with, and I was working so many hours, and not to mention that, but the restaurant was just like super slow in general. I was just doing I was into the real estate thing. One day, the owner comes in to the restaurant. He's like just in there working, doing his thing. I'm using the Stardust Glow palette by Mellow for my blush, bronzer, and highlighter today. It's my first time using this palette. Oh, she's pigmented. Oh my god, she's so pigmented. That's so dark. Oh no. That is so pigmented. That's so dark. Jesus. I have to go over that with some powder to make it not look as dark, because that looks so dark. It's ridiculous. So anyway, so one day the owner walks in, and he's like, he comes to the expo line where all the food comes out, and he sees a to-go box with a salad in it or something, and we were supposed to have like a little thing of silverware in there with it. Well, there was no silverware in the little bag. I guess somebody forgot to do it. He takes the bag, rips it open, throws it on the floor, and asks where the fucking silverware is. And I was like, I guess somebody like forgot it. Like, why are you throwing shit? You know, like, I was like very turned off and confused. So anyway, after that crazy display, I decided that I was going to find something else to do. So I was looking at management jobs. I was looking at serving jobs, because I was like, you know what? I just want to do something different. I want to change. I don't think that managing restaurants is for me anymore. This is 3 for 3 where I'm just really not into it anymore, and I think that I just need to try something different. So I'm using the blush out of this Mellow Cosmetics blush thing now, and there's so much kickback. I don't know if you guys can see that on the pan, but it's a lot. So I'm tapping off a lot of excess. It's not too pigmented. This is blending out really nicely, by the way, but it's just so pigmented, and it picks up so much product on the brush that I like kind of a more subtle blush, if you will. So I like start looking for jobs, right? I'm like, I can't do this anymore. I completely check out at this restaurant that I'm working at, and I'm just like, I can't do this anymore. So while I'm there, I'm basically always studying for my real estate school, and I'm also looking for jobs, applying for jobs while I'm at the job that I'm at. So that's always good and fresh. So then I come in, like a week goes by or something, and I come in, and the owner's there when I get to the restaurant to open it, and he fires me, and he's like, the to-go order or whatever for so-and-so's catering didn't have enough serving utensils in it. We have to let you go. And I was like, whatever, bye. So I got fired from that place. So I'm 3 for 3 on getting let go from management jobs, and something just like hits me. I'm like, I so fucking hate doing this shit. I hate the hours that I'm putting in. I hate feeling underappreciated by my staff and by my bosses. I hate the unrealistic expectations that they put on you as a restaurant manager. I hate being pushed in a million different directions as a restaurant manager. I do not like doing this anymore. So I kind of like said, I'm gonna go back to waiting tables. And then I had an interview at this restaurant that I work at now. I had one interview that I'd already gone on, but I ended up calling them and going in earlier than anticipated for this. This is really pretty. It's kind of like subtle, but it's really pretty. This is the Luna highlighter in the same palette. And basically I end up getting the job at this place I am in now. Like, loving the free time that I have. It's a little bit of a weird transition into making the money that I was managing at first, but then I started making more, and now I'm consistently making more money than I've ever made in the restaurant industry in my life by waiting tables and working 30 less hours a week than I ever have. It's been really, really nice. Well, cue the anxiety, because we recently changed general managers at my new restaurant, and this is as recently as this week. So I always, because of how 2019 went for me, even though I know it's because I was super unhappy in what I was doing, I have this like a weird fear, irrational fear, if you will, of getting fired. I feel like I'm always going to get fired all the time for the littlest things, and that's just not true, but I just feel that way deep, just because my anxiety tells me that I need to feel that way. We got this new general manager, and she just reminds me of everything corporate that I ran away from all these places that I worked at, except for Palazzo, because that was independently owned. Just the way that she manages, the way she talks, she's very, very sweet. I think she might watch my video, so hello if you're watching. She just reminds me so much of everything that I ran away from in that corporate environment. Even though this new place that I work is not corporate, because we have a few concepts, but it's not like majorly like a bunch of stuff. So I'm scared. We had a little meeting the other day. Afterward, they asked to talk with me. The talk was, for the most part, I think positive, but then there was also some feedback in there, like some constructive feedback as well. And basically now I have this like overwhelming fear that I'm gonna walk into work and get fired on Thursday when I go in. Don't really quite know how to handle that. Everyone's telling me I'm being stupid because most of the conversation was good, but I just had this like overwhelming fear that I'm going to lose this, and I really, really honestly enjoy where I am right now. So that's what's going on with me. And if I put any more highlighter on my face, I think you're gonna be able to see me from the moon. So I probably should stop. Yeah, so that's where I'm at. I'm really got a lot of anxiety about work, about keeping my job. Think it's a little irrational. The rational side of me thinks that, but then I'm also like, well, I didn't expect it coming at a couple of these places from 2019. So 2019 scarred me, and I'm just really scared. And so I'm gonna go into work on Thursday, tomorrow, with a better, outlook on just everything, I think, and just I might have to play this corporate game for a little bit, and I'm not looking forward to that, but I feel like that's the best way to get through to this new general manager. I don't plan on leaving this restaurant anytime soon, and by anytime soon I mean at least the end of 2021. I do obviously plan on making YouTube my full-time career. That is what the goal is, that is what we're doing, but didn't see it happening anytime soon. So I do want to stay there and make it work. I just hope that they like me enough to want to have me. There's a little bit more that goes into it as far as like difference and like knowledge that's being expected of people now, and I'm not as confident in the knowledge that they want me to have these days as far as wine goes, and as far as just different things like that go. I am getting better with that kind of stuff, and I've been making improvements, but I'm just nervous that I'm not quite where they would want me to be yet, and maybe that's another reason maybe they would want to get rid of me. I don't know. I have a lot of anxiety about it. That's how I'm feeling, you guys. I don't know. I'm kind of just like rambling and talking to the camera. How are you feeling? How are you? Do you guys relate to anything that I'm talking about right now? Am I just like alone? Like, please, and feel free to tell me in the comments below, like, girl, I don't think, if you haven't gotten written up, haven't done anything wrong, like, I don't think you're gonna get fired. Feel free to tell me like I'm tripping in the comments if you think so. I'm trying the Fenty Beauty brow pencil. I've never tried this before. It came in my BoxyCharm as well. The brow MVP, so it's the first time I'm trying that. I mean, I've never been written up. I've never gotten a guest complaint. There are times when I'm a little stressed out, and we say in the industry weeded or whatever and there's times when, I get a little frustrated with our guest or something and might vent to a manager or coworker about it and stuff, and that's kind of what they talked about a little bit with me on Monday, was about just making sure that I stay positive all the time. So I'm like, was that like I'm a red flag to you, stay positive, or like a, hey, you're doing really, really well, but this is like one little thing you can improve on? Like, I don't know. I'm just freaked out. And then like this election has me like really kind of freaking out too, because like Trump is like going to the Supreme Supreme Court about the vote. I raised my eyebrows when I was saying that, and I almost fucked up my entire eyebrow. So I was just like, I just can't take it seriously. How, like, what are you suing? You have no grounds to sue anybody over anything for. Like, no votes were being cast past the deadline. Votes are being counted. Nobody found any mysterious votes. What are you even talking about? And, like, the recounts and stuff, like, bro, you lost by 20,000 votes. You really think that a recount is gonna, like, change things that dramatically in your favor? I just don't. Zach, God love him, Zach is, like, making me super paranoid because he's like, you know, he's not gonna leave office and it's gonna be this big thing. Zach says this is the beginning of the end of democracy in America as we, this is interesting the way that this little tip is. This is the beginning of the end of democracy as we know it. God help us all and blah, 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 blah. And I'm just like, bro, I do not need all of that negativity in my life. I have so much anxiety as it is. Like, I cannot handle anymore thinking that this is the end of America. Like, I can't do it. So I'm just like, the election has been stressing me the fuck out, and then this has been stressing me the fuck out, and I just, like, really honestly have just about had it. We're gonna be trying the Beauty Bakery eyeshadow palette Breakfast in Bed. I got this in my BoxyCharm for October 2. I didn't do a full BoxyCharm video this month. Oh, and I'm also trying out these Luxie brushes that I got from BoxyCharm as well, only solely because the brushes that I have are all dirty. So anxiety is such a weird thing. Like, I, like, have enough control over it to know sometimes that I'm being, like, a little irrational about some things, but then sometimes I'm like, but, like, what if? You know, but, like, what if? And that's just, like, the really weird thing about it is I'm never, like, completely comfortable, and I just wonder how it feels to be just, like, completely comfortable in your own thoughts and not have your mind race all the time, you know? I'm thinking about changing my content up a little bit for the holidays, and I would love to know how you guys feel about that. So I'm, like, a whore for Christmas. I fucking love Christmas so much. I love decorating and giving gifts and just the whole vibe of, like, all the holiday drinks and the blah, 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 whatever. And so I was really, like, kind of into doing some good and fresh, like, holiday themed videos, like multiples of them. And I was thinking, like, this brush is never gonna work for that. These shimmers are kind of not giving me too much. The metallic, it's like kind of a metallic shade or whatever. It's not really giving me what I really want. I'm gonna try and wet the brush, get a good amount on the brush and wet it and see how it works. Oh, there we go. Okay. Works much better if you wet the brush. So, like, I was, like, thinking about maybe trying, like, some, you know, the holiday menus at, you know, different restaurants or just, like, maybe even some fast food places or really whoever is offering something. I was thinking about doing that. And then I was also thinking about, obviously, you know, giving my opinion on all the makeup holiday collections that come out, or maybe just, like, going Christmas decor shopping with me. But I want to know what you guys are into and if you would even really be into watching any of that. Would you guys be interested in seeing me, like, do the whole Christmas, like, thing, like me geeking out for Christmas? Like, let me know if you're into that, because I'm super into showing you guys that part of my life, because I will be doing all of the above. I don't know if I should film it or not. So anyway, you guys, I just had to cut out, like, a bunch of stuff because I went off on, like, a little tangent there. In a nutshell, I have bad anxiety and I want to cry. But yeah, guys, that is it for today's video. It was kind of just like a ramble fest from me and just, like, putting on makeup and venting to you guys. And I kind of love that I can do this and just sit here and talk with you guys about it, and maybe I can help somebody who's going through something similar, and maybe I can get a reality check from somebody telling me that I'm being crazy if not, or maybe I can just get it off my chest to, you know, feel a little bit healthier about the whole situation. Thank you so much for tuning in for today's video, you guys. Yeah, I don't know. I'm in a weird mindset right now. But if you enjoyed today's video, make sure that you give it a big thumbs up and subscribe to my channel down below. Don't forget to ring the bell so you're notified of all my future videos when they do post. I do post every Tuesday and Thursday for you at 12 p.m. Central Time. You can follow me on all my social media at Beauty by Shelbye. That's TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter. All at Beauty by Shelbye. I'll put that right there for you so you can see. And if you enjoyed listening to me ramble on about my anxiety, which, okay, then YouTube should be suggesting a couple videos down here for you to check out, so make sure you go and do that if you want to see more of the Beauty by Shelbye vibes. Aside from that, you guys, I'm gonna go binge eat. I will see you in the next video, guys. Bye, guys.